We are building Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in real life, part 1. We chose to do Five Nights at Freddy's 4 because it is easily the scariest game, and we already did 3 others. We decided to put the entire thing on wheels, mainly so it would be easier to move around, but also we could repurpose this for a stage and also use it for future projects that we want to do. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is known for being inside of a kid's bedroom, so we needed to replicate that. We bought a bunch of drywall and started putting it up. The entire area we had to work with was 12 feet by 16 feet, so it was going to be a pretty big-sized kid's bedroom. And as we started putting all the walls up, it looked really good all together. Stay tuned for part 2. We are building Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in real life, part 2. Our next step was to match the door and door knob. So we got the knobs, and now all we had to do was find the doors. Once we found the doors, it was pretty easy just grabbing 2 and putting them on our cart and heading over to build it on the set. Our next step was indenting the wood so we could actually open the doors and the hinges would open fine. Once we put the door on, it was time to test it.
Ow! Move!
Then, we basically did the exact same thing on the other side. The only thing that we're missing now for the doors is the frame, but we'll get to that later. We also started a GoFundMe to help build Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in real life. It's starting to get pricey, so all proceeds will go towards this project. And if you want to find the link, it is in my profile on my TikTok for you to click anytime you want. Stay tuned for part 3. We are building Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in real life, part 3. The first thing we had to do was get supplies for the roof, which was funded by these lovely people on our GoFundMe. Before we started on the roof, we had to put in this wall and finish the framing for the doors. Once we had the frames for the doors on, we remembered we needed the door knobs, so we put those on really quick. Once we put the door knobs on and tested it, we also put a top part for the closet just to make it look nicer.
We have a closet.
Then it was finally time to start on the framing for the roof. So we just put a bunch of 2x3s on here and started stringing them across, and it eventually started to turn out pretty well. All we have to do next is just put the actual roof on and finish up the closet. So stay tuned for part... We are building Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in real life, part 4. The next step was just putting up the ceiling panels, and all we had to do was just attach them to the frame that we had already built. And we were live, so we said hello to all of our followers. Once we put up the other panels, it was starting to look really good. Once we had finished the entire roof, we were very pleased by how well it turned out. It got dark very quickly, which meant the atmosphere was already pronounced. The next step was putting 2 massive speakers right under the doors for jump scares. These were utilized so then when you're at the doors, they will be able to vibrate the ground and scare the crap out of you when you're actually playing the game. It's going to be incredible. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for part 5. We're building Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in real life, part 5. Our next step was to build the hallways, so all we had to do was just make more floors so then we could put the walls on them. Once we put one on one side, it was time to put one on the other side too. Then we needed to put up corner pieces on both sides of the hallway. Then it was finally time to start making the walls for the hallways. After a little bit of work, we got all the walls on the left hallway done. Now we just had to do the exact same thing on the other side, but first we had to put the other corner piece in. Once we were finished putting that corner piece in, we started putting up the walls, and the end product was really nice. I also had time to put up a little bit of the roof for the hallways, so stay tuned for part 6 when we finish that. Should not be working this well. This is incredible.